Hey y'all, so welcome back to my channel. This year I have decided that I'm going to put a lot more effort into making beauty content, I guess, like makeup videos and stuff. I just really love makeup, and I figure why not put all of this stuff to use instead of it just sitting here. So I guess we're going to start off the new year with a makeup tutorial. So first I'm going to pull all this hair up out of my face because I'm one of those people that gets makeup all over my hair and I'm not trying to deal with that today. So let's start with primer. I'm going to be using the Catrice Light Correcting Serum Primer in Candlelight because you can tell I'm having a bad skin day and I need all the help I can get. So I'm just gonna drop this or wipe this all over my face because it's not wanting to come out. And I'm also going to use the Maybelline Instant Pore Eraser mixed with the Revlon Mattifying and Pore Reducing Prime Plus. So hopefully this is gonna fill in the pores on my face. I used to use this Maybelline one all the time before I even knew what makeup was, and I'm hoping that it still works. Or maybe it was just really crappy and I didn't know any better. But I guess we're gonna see. I'm just gonna put the pore primer all over my nose and around my mouth because that's where I have giant pores. My face is so dry, like this is stinging to go on my face, which is ridiculous. Hold on just a second, let me turn this light off because it's glaring. So for foundation, I'm going to use the Kokie Skin Perfect HD foundation in shade 20W. And I'm just going to put it on the back of my hand. And I'm going to use my e.l.f. face sponge to blend it out. So I've never tried this foundation and I've had it for a while. And so I've made the goal this year to try out all of these foundations that I have and just haven't used because I have so many and it's really overwhelming to pick one to use. So this year I'm going to try to be a lot better about using up everything that I have instead of just buying more and not trying the things that I already have. So I don't think this is going to be enough. So let me do another pump. Hopefully that's going to be enough to cover my whole face. Oh, geez Louise. So we're just going to blend that out all over the face. Make sure we don't have any lines. And my mirror is right behind you, so if I'm not looking at the camera, I'm sorry. But I'm trying to see what I'm doing. I don't feel like that was as full coverage as I expected it to be. Or maybe I just have too much to cover on my face. I don't know. It could be one or the other, but I can still see a lot showing through, especially around my nose, because that's where all my redness and things that I want to cover up are, and I feel like this is still showing it pretty bad. Let's see what this looks like up close. I can get this mirror open. So I guess it doesn't look too bad. It's clinging a little bit to dry spots, and I can still see a lot of redness through here. So maybe you would pass on this. I don't even think you can buy this in Walmart anymore. So I think we can pass that one along. So I guess I'm going to go in with concealer to try and fix this mess. I'm using the ColourPop Pretty Fresh Hyaluronic Creamy Concealer. I have 2 different shades. So I'm going to use this one to put more coverage on my nose and use the lighter one underneath my eyes. So this is, I have light 40 in and light 60 in. I think light 60 in is similar to my skin tone. So I'm going to just put this on my nose, around my mouth, around my nose again, and on this giant bump that has developed on my face. So let's blend that out and see if that helps anything. Well, that helped a little bit. It's still, the concealer's kind of caking up on the foundation, I guess because the foundation is not cooperating. So maybe this was a bad choice for the first video of the year. Hope this isn't a sign of how the rest of the year is gonna go. But anyway, now I'm going to take light 40 in and I'm going to go underneath my eyes with it. So, let's see. This concealer feels good. How it's going to cover and hopefully not crease, I don't know. But we're going to find out. So, let's blend this out and see what we're left with. I'm going to take it up on my eyelid just to go ahead and get ready for eyeshadow, because why use eyeshadow primer when you have concealer? With that blended out, it looks pretty good. My face looks kind of cakey and it's already starting to crease in my forehead lines. So, don't know how that's going to go, but now I'm going to take my Physicians Formula Airbrushing Pressed Powder. This is one of my favorite drugstore powders. It makes your skin just look really smooth and flawless. I mean, obviously it's called airbrushing, so it should. But this is actually one of the few things I own that I've actually hit pan on. So, I'm just going to set my eyes with this. And then I'm going to take a little bit and do my forehead just to go ahead and set those lines, so hopefully they don't crease anymore. And I'm going to do a little bit on my nose and a little on my chin. I was going to use the Collab Kill the Shine Pressed Powder to set the rest of my face, but I actually think I'm just going to go ahead and use this with a bigger brush to go ahead and just set the rest of my face, because maybe this will salvage some of this foundation mess that's happened. Because if this wears anything like it's going on my face, I'm gonna look a hot mess. This foundation is very tacky. It's not wanting to set. Like, my face still feels sticky. We have this very bad beginning. I'm gonna go into bronzer and blush. I have the ColourPop and Becky G collab bronzers. I got both of them in LA and 310. 310 is more of a lighter, more golden shade, and LA is more of a darker red shade, I would say. This one is probably going to be better for my skin tone right now. So I'm going to put this one to the side. That's LA, the darker one. And I also have the Pretty Vulgar Bronze B bronzer, if I can get it open. And this is more of like a neutral tone. You can kind of tell it's actually kind of more cool tone, but you know, it's not as warm as this. So I actually think I'm going to mix both of them. This is in 42 Son of a Bee. Very cute. And this, again, is the Becky G ColourPop bronzer in 310. So, I'm I'm just gonna go into both of those, tap off the excess because a lot of powder just came off. And I'm just gonna bronze up the face. I actually like these bronzers. I think I like the Pretty Vulgar one a little bit better. A neutral undertone, not really so warm or cool. I prefer just kind of in the middle. But I use the combo of these two on my face. So for blush, we're going to use the Burt's Bees blush in 1205 Bare Peach. If you know me, you know I'm a fan of peach and orange tone blush. I don't like pink blushes or mauve blushes or anything like that. I like these colors because I feel like they look best on me personally. And again, everybody has their own preferences. So if you hate orange blush, peach blush, more power to you. Wear pink or purple or whatever color you like. But this is just my preference. So I'm just going to brush that on the apples of my cheeks. And smile to make sure I get it on the right place. And that's the blush. It's kind of sheer. It doesn't go on very heavy, so it's, you know, it's easy to not look like a clown. But I really do like it, and it blends in really good with the bronzer that I put on. So this foundation is still not looking too hot, but we're just going to roll with it at this point. So I think for brows, we're going to use... So we got cut off because I got a phone call and I'm filming on my phone. So of course my phone stopped filming. But I was saying that we were going to use the Tarte Amazonian Clay Waterproof Brow Pencil in Rich Brown to do my eyebrows today. I've never used this pencil, so I don't know how this is going to go. But I generally like Tarte anything. I really want to try their new Big Ego pencil and gel combination thing. But I just haven't been and bought it yet. So I'm just going to fill in my eyebrows. I have generally pretty thick eyebrows. I thin them myself, shape them myself, whatever you want to say. So I just kind of fill in what's there because I shape them in the shape that I pretty much want them to be with product or without product. So I really don't have to do a lot because I can't draw on a straight eyebrow to save my life. So I just make it simple and just go ahead and put them in the right shape when I do them. So I'm just gonna fill them in. This is actually a pretty good color. My eyebrows are pretty much black naturally. They're very dark. I guess they're black, dark brown. I don't know, whatever. And sometimes brow pencils, you can tell if I don't get a dark enough color because it looks really weird. But this one's actually a pretty good color, so we're going to keep this one. And to set that, we're going to use the Milani Clear Brow Gel. I think this just released. I bought this from Ulta over Christmas. So I'm just going to set my eyebrows in place like so. I actually have 3 palettes here that I don't know which one to use. I have the Tati Beauty palette, Textured Neutrals I think is the name of it. I have this little Makeup Geek quad of different color shadows. I'm thinking I might use this and just use like a sequin or a glitter from the Tati palette because I really want to try these shades out. And I also have the Becky G Colourpop palette. Not used yet. It's an all matte palette. But I really like this as soon as I saw it. And I don't know. We'll see. We might use one of the transition colors out of here. So let me open up these palettes and see which one I want to use. So I think I'm definitely going to use the Makeup Geek shadows. I can't remember the names of these offhand. I know this one is Corrupt, and I can't remember the name of these other three. I bought them on the big Makeup Geek sale, and I put them in this little palette, and I can't remember the name of them. But I'll look it up, and I'll have it listed in the description. So, we are going to use this, and I think I'm going to use one of the metallic shades, or the glitter shades from the Tati palette, to kind of finish it up, because those Makeup Geek ones are all mattes. And I think to start out, I'm going to take just a big fluffy brush, and I'm going to take Little Smiley from the Becky G palette, and I'm just going to brush this all over my lid. Just as kind of a base for everything to cling to. So I'm thinking I'm going to have to use one of these shades for a transition color as well, because all of these Makeup Geek shades, I mean, even this one, are pretty light. I mean, pretty dark. Sorry, can't talk. So I think I'm going to take... I think I'm going to take Chula from the Becky G palette, because it's a cool tone brown, and all of the Makeup Geek shadows are cool tone. So I'm just going to take a little bit of that on a Morphe M581 brush. I mean M518, sorry. And I'm just going to start buffing that in the crease as a transition. It froze. So I'm just going to buff that out, and it's actually coming out a little bit warmer than I thought it would. Okay, not what I was expecting, but... So I think we're going to put the Becky G palette aside, and we're going to go into the Makeup Geek quad. So I'm going to take this little brush. This was just from a Walmart set, but it's like a little blending brush. I really like using it. And I'm going to take the lightest shade, which is like this mauve gray color. And I don't have a mirror, so I'm going to use my Soul highlighter again. And I'm just going to kind of blend this on top of that brown shade to kind of cool it down, because I was not expecting that to be so warm brown. So I'm just going to put this over the top just to tone down the warmth a little bit, so we don't look orange with all these other colors. I'm just going to blend that in the crease and up towards my eyebrow. I have hooded eyes, so I usually take my eyeshadow up pretty close to my eyebrow. I don't have a lot of space between my eyelid and my eyebrow, so, you know, you do what you gotta do. However you prefer to blend your eyeshadow on your face is, you know, personal preference. It's totally up to you. Then I'm going to take a little bit smaller blending brush. This is the Morphe Jaclyn Hill brush in JH32. And I'm going to take the next lightest shade in the Makeup Geek quad. And I'm going to blend this towards my eyelashes and not go so high, because it is a darker shade and I don't want to look like I have a black eye, because that's not attractive. I only have eyeshadow on one side of the brush, so it really helps to control it so that you're not going up too high. And I'm pointing the brush kind of straight forward and down towards my eyelid instead of up towards my eyebrow like I did before. So I'm just going to blend that out like so. And this is what it looks like with the second shade. I'm sorry for the glare from this window, but I don't really have any other way to film right now. I'm working on it. I'll be better, I promise. So I'm just gonna finish blending that and make sure everything is seamless. And then I'm going to take this e.l.f. blending eye brush. It's like a denser brush. It's not as fluffy. It's kind of more of a smudger brush. So I'm going to take the darkest purple shade, which is this one right here. And I'm just going to pack that on the outer corner of my eye, just to deepen it up. I'm going to take it into the crease a little bit, but I'm not going to take it up very high because, again, I don't want it to look like a bruise. I just want it to look like a soft, smoky eye. I'm going to switch my brush to this Moda small shader brush. Looks like this, because that other one is not packing the color on like I want it to. I'm not using a lot of shadow. I'm just like dipping into the pan twice and then tapping off the excess, because I don't want to just throw a bunch of eyeshadow on my face because I won't be able to blend it out. So I'm just gonna barely add a little bit at a time, just to make sure we don't get too over. Now, I'm gonna take the Morphe Jaclyn Hill JH40 brush, which is like a tiny precise blending brush. And I'm gonna take a little bit of that second Makeup Geek shade, which is this one right here. And I'm just gonna blend out the edges of that dark shade in the outer corner. Gonna blend it up into the crease. And this is just making sure that everything's blended and seamless, and we're not walking around with patchy eyeshadow. So I'm just blending this with that second lightest shade. I'm just blending the crease and blending down on the eyelid, just making sure we don't have any harsh lines or anything looking strange. And then I'm going to take a clean blending brush, a little bit bigger, and I'm just going to blend out the top where we did that first transition color from the Becky G palette. I'm just going to blend that just to make sure that we don't have any harsh edges. And there's no product on the brush. I'm not using any more product. I'm just blending what's already there, just to make sure everything is seamless and we don't have any harsh lines. And this is especially important with dark colors, because you want to make sure that it doesn't look patchy or uneven, because dark colors are very unforgiving when they're, especially on the eyes, they're very unforgiving. So you want to make sure you blend everything so that it's seamless. So now we're finished with that, and it's just like a soft smoky eye. We are going to add a little bit of black, but I'm not going to do it right now. I'm going to take a little bit of the NYX glitter primer, and I'm going to use one of the glitter shades from the Tati palette. I'm thinking I'm going to use the shade Poet in the glitter form. So we're going to take our NYX glitter glue, and I'm just going to put a little bit of it on my hand, because I don't want to put too much on there. And I need a little tiny brush. So I think I'm going to use this BH Cosmetics 107 brush, which is like an angled eyeliner brush. And I'm just going to take it, and I'm going to put it all over the inner half of my eye, which is where I'm going to put the glitter. Pat that on like so, and then I'm going to give that just a second to get a little bit tacky. And I'm going to take this Moda Glam Topper. It's like a silicone angled thing that you're supposed to use to put on like shimmer or glitter eyeshadow, because it just picks it up better. And I'm going to take a little bit of the glitter version of Poet from Tati's palette. That's about how much it picked up. And I'm just going to pack that onto my eye. And this is what it comes out as. So compared to the eye with nothing on it, this is how it looks. So now I'm just going to do the same thing to the other eye. Going to get a little bit more of the glitter primer. And I'm going to do the same thing to the other eye. And then I'm going to take the packing tool again and pick up a little bit. I'm going to add a little bit more glitter to the other eye that we already did, just on the center of it. Then I'm going to pick up some glitter and I'm going to pack it on my other eye. So then we have two glittery eyeballs. So with that, I think we're going to be good. And then we're going to take the MAC Brush Black Brush Stroke Liner. And I'm just going to go and make a thin line across my eyelid. And I'm going to take this tiny little pointed brush, and I'm going to take a little bit of that black shade Corrupt from the Makeup Geek palette, and I'm just going to gently buff it over that eyeliner that I just... So I think I'm actually going to go ahead and just do a small wing. So I'm just going to take the MAC liquid liner again, and I'm going to draw my line, and then I'm going to make the triangle, and then I'm just going to fill it in. And there we have a wing. So I'm just going to do the same thing on the other side, and just make my wing and connect it to the liner on my lash line, and just make my wing. And there we are. We have our winged eyeliner on. So now I'm going to do my bottom lash line. I'm going to take another small pointed brush. This is the Morphe M431, and it's just a very small, precise brush. And I'm going to take this second lightest shade, and I'm just going to go right... There's no mirror in that palette. I'm just going to go right up against my lash line with this shade. Okay? And then I'm going to take a small blending brush. This is the Morphe Jaclyn Hill JH40, and it's just a little precise brush. And I'm going to take that lightest shade, and I'm just going to buff that out. I'm just going to blend it down a little bit, just so we don't have a harsh line. And then our bottom lash line was through. So with that, I'm going to take a little bit of the metallic version of Aura, which is this one right here from the Tati palette, and I'm just going to pop that on my inner corners with my finger. Now I actually think I'm going to take that JH40 brush, and I'm going to take a little bit of Memory, which is the matte black shade, well, the matte version of Memory, which is the black shade in Tati's palette, and I'm actually just going to go right up against the edge of that glitter and kind of blend up my eyeliner with the black. I'm going to blend it up to the crease, just to make it just a little bit more dramatic. I'm just going to blend that. So we're kind of now in a dramatic smoky eye. I'm actually going to get a pair of false lashes to put on because I feel like we need false lashes. I'm going to use ColourPop's Baddie Lashes. This was from the Bye Bye Birdie collection. They're very dramatic, which I think goes with this eyeshadow look. So I'm going to get my velour lash glue, to get my pointy tweezers, which I love using to put these bad boys on. So I'm going to take the set for my right eye first. Probably going to have to trim them because most lashes are a little bit long for my eye. So yeah, I think I'm going to trim them just a tiny bit on the inner corner. So I'm just going to trim off. And I'm just going to take the velour lash glue. And I'm going to brush it on. This pair has a really thick and like firm band. So I don't know how this is going to go. But we're going to try it. Perhaps I did not put enough glue on. Here we go. That should be enough. Okay. So I'm just going to let that dry for a quick second and get a little bit tacky before we put it on. So let's just pop these bad boys on and hope that they go on like we want them to. Okay. I'm going to take the other one, if it will come off of this plastic thing, and I'm going to trim this side just a hair, and then I'm going to brush the lash glue on this one as well. Okay. I think the side just came unglued. Okay, I think we're good. So I'm going to let this side get tacky for just a second. You know, false lashes really make a difference. I have like no eyelashes on this side, and this side's like boom. So we're just gonna pop these on. It is not wanting to stick. So let's plop more lash glue on. And then we have both our sets of lashes on. So now we're going to do mascara, and I'm going to use the Brooklyn & Bailey Blackout mascara. Oh, it's called Lash Next Door. And this is another new mascara. That's what the wand looks like. It looks like pretty basic. But we're going to see how this does. Oh my god. My lashes keep coming unstuck. So this seems like a pretty dry mascara. I mean, it doesn't really want to go on. It's kind of thick. I guess we'll see. So that's mascara. And then for my bottom lashes, I'm going to use MAC Giga Black because this is what I always use on my bottom lashes. Okay. So that is eyes done. So that leaves us with highlighter and setting spray. So for highlighter, I'm going to use the Soul Shimmering Body Powder in Rosé. And I'm going to use my Jaclyn Hill JH09 brush to just run a little bit of this over the apples. And that's not really showing up like I want it to, so I'm going to go to my trusty band brush. I'm just going to swirl that around. That's much better. Blocking your view. And then gonna do the tip of the nose, Cupid's bow, a little bit on the chin, and a little bit down the bridge of the nose, just for good luck. So that's highlight. So now I'm going to set my face, and then we will do lips to finish this off. So I think I'm going to use the Flower Beauty Seal the Deal Long Lasting Setting Spray. Well, the sprayer is not wanting to work, so I guess I'm gonna have to fix that. But I think we'll use the Beauty Bakery Sweet Grace Baking Spray Setting Spray. Oof. That came out strong. Oh, it's a very strong smell. But we're going to use that. And I'm just going to take my sponge and dab a little bit at my forehead to kind of just make sure everything is blended. And then for lips, I'm going to be using the Revlon Super Lustrous Lip Gloss in 215 Super Natural, because this is just a basic nude color. And that is the finished product, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!